They were once the faces everyone admired, natural, expressive, unforgettable. But fame doesn't freeze time. One small change becomes another, until the mirror no longer feels familiar. Today, some of Hollywood's biggest stars reveal the surgeries they deeply regret. This isn't about vanity. It's about pressure, consequences, and what remains after the applause fades. Victoria Beckham's evolution from pop star to global fashion icon was shaped as much by public scrutiny as by personal growth. In the late 1990s, as a member of the Spice Girls, she moved through an industry where cosmetic enhancements were subtly woven into celebrity culture, almost unspoken but widely accepted. Within that environment, Victoria chose to undergo breast augmentation, a decision she later reflected on with candor. At the time, it seemed like a natural step toward fitting the beauty norms of fame and relevance. But as years passed, her relationship with cosmetic change shifted. By 2014, Victoria made a choice that surprised many. She opted to have her implants removed. There was no sensational reveal or media blitz, just a quiet, thoughtful decision rooted in deeper values. As a mother, she wanted to model self-acceptance and resilience for her children, separating self-worth from external alteration. Her reasoning was clear. Confidence should come from authenticity, not conformity. Removing the implants was more than a physical change. It was a symbolic act of reclaiming her identity beyond trends and expectations. In stepping away from that chapter, she underscored a broader cultural shift. That empowerment is not defined by how closely we match an ideal, but by how fully we embrace ourselves. Today, Victoria's story resonates not as a rejection of personal choice, but as a powerful example of owning one's narrative and prioritizing inner values over fleeting standards of beauty. Heidi Montag rose to fame as one of reality TV's most recognizable faces on The Hills, embodying the California girl next door before Hollywood's pressure reshaped her world. At just 23, caught in the glare of public scrutiny and internal insecurity, she made a choice that would define her more than any storyline or tabloid headline. In 2010, Heidi underwent an unprecedented 10 cosmetic procedures in a single day: a brow lift, rhinoplasty revision, chin reduction, breast augmentation, liposuction, and more, hoping to capture a more perfect version of herself. What followed was far from the quick transformation she was promised. Recovery stretched into more than a year of pain, visible scarring, and difficult rehabilitation, during which she could barely talk and faced intense media backlash. At one point, she even nearly died due to complications and an overdose of pain medication. In the years since, Heidi has spoken openly about her regrets, acknowledging that the surgeries did not bring the confidence or fulfillment she sought, and that many were driven by external expectations rather than self-acceptance. She later reversed some procedures, including removing overly large breast implants that caused discomfort, and began to focus on health, family, and a more grounded self-image. Today, Montag's experience serves as a powerful cautionary tale about the emotional and physical consequences of extreme cosmetic intervention, the cost of chasing perfection under the spotlight, and the importance of self-reflection and authenticity in the face of societal pressure. Katie Price's relationship with cosmetic surgery reads like a cautionary cycle that few outsiders fully understand. Unlike many stars who pursue procedures later in life, Katie began altering her appearance as a teenager, just 18 years old, driven by a desire to feel attractive and confident in an industry that prizes visibility. What started as a youthful experiment quickly evolved into something more complicated. One procedure led to another, each change intended to improve what came before, until the alterations became less about self-expression and more about attempting to fix an ever-present dissatisfaction. Over time, the surgeries stopped bringing joy and instead fostered a kind of dependency, a hope that the next change might finally deliver fulfillment. The turning point came in 2021, when she agreed to undergo a breast enlargement procedure in Turkey that was promoted as free of cost. The offer proved dangerously misleading. The operation was botched, leaving Katie in severe pain, emotional distress, and confronting visible damage that required multiple corrective surgeries just to stabilize her health. She later described the experience as one of the worst mistakes of her life, a moment of profound regret that exposed the darker side of cosmetic culture. Yet even after intense criticism and personal trauma, she has not fully stepped away from cosmetic interventions. Her story illustrates the powerful grip that insecurity and public pressure can have, and how early decisions made under duress can echo through decades, reminding us that change born of insecurity is often the hardest pattern to break. Priscilla Presley, known for her timeless elegance and enduring connection to Elvis Presley's legacy, believed that subtle cosmetic treatments could help maintain her appearance without drastic change. She wasn't chasing shock value or dramatic alteration. Only a gentle enhancement she trusted would be safe. Tragically, that trust was misplaced. In the early 2000s, Priscilla turned to a so-called specialist who claimed to offer advanced, long-lasting facial injections superior to Botox. Without knowing it, she was injected with industrial-grade silicone, a substance never meant for use in human tissue. At first, the effects were subtle, almost imperceptible. But over time, painful lumps developed. Skin became distorted, and chronic inflammation set in, leaving Priscilla with a face she no longer recognized. The substance could not be safely removed, and she was forced to endure a series of corrective surgeries simply to reduce the damage and restore some semblance of normalcy. The man responsible was later exposed as a fraud, unlicensed, and using banned materials, and was sentenced for his crimes. But the physical and emotional harm had already been done. Priscilla's experience was not the result of vanity, but of misplaced trust, a cautionary example of how crucial proper credentials and oversight are in cosmetic medicine. In recent years, she has spoken candidly about the ordeal, urging others to prioritize safety, research carefully, and never take shortcuts when it comes to one's face and well-being. Mickey Rourke's journey through fame, pain, and reinvention defies the typical Hollywood narrative. In the 1980s, he was the embodiment of raw charisma, a leading man whose intensity and striking looks set him apart. At the height of his early success, however, Rourke stunned fans by stepping away from acting and entering the brutal world of professional boxing. Drawn by the discipline and physical challenge, he embraced the ring, but the toll was severe. Repeated blows left his face broken, bones shattered, and cartilage permanently damaged, forcing him into reconstructive surgery upon his eventual return to film. What was intended as repair became a harrowing ordeal when the surgeon he trusted failed to restore his features with care. Instead of subtle reconstruction, the procedures altered his face to the point of near unrecognizability. In an industry where appearance can dictate opportunity, this transformation had swift consequences. Roles evaporated, doors quietly closed, and Rourke found himself sidelined at a time when many expected his star to continue rising. Yet from the wreckage came an unexpected evolution. Rather than disappearing, he embraced the depth etched into his features, bringing a new gravitas to his performances in films like The Wrestler and Sin City, where weathered vulnerability became his strength. Today, Mickey's story stands as a testament to resilience, a reminder that life's most profound transformations often emerge not from image, but from the courage to persist and find meaning beyond the face the world once adored. Courteney Cox was once celebrated as Hollywood's quintessential girl next door, known for her natural charm, expressive features, and emotional range that made her performance on Friends iconic. Yet behind that familiar smile, the unrelenting pressure of an industry obsessed with youth began to leave its mark. What started as subtle enhancements, a touch of Botox here, a bit of filler there, was meant to preserve rather than transform. But cosmetic work can have a way of accumulating, layer upon layer, until the face you see in the mirror no longer feels like your own. For Cox, the shift was gradual enough that she didn't fully notice it herself at first. It was fans and headlines that called attention to the change before she did. Facing the truth of her own reflection, she made a rare and courageous decision in Hollywood. She stopped. More than that, she chose to dissolve the fillers and step away from heavy injectables altogether. In doing so, she reclaimed qualities that had defined her career: warmth, authenticity, and the natural expressiveness audiences had always connected with. Today, Courtney speaks openly about her choices with honesty and reflection, emphasizing that cosmetic change isn't always dramatic or impulsive, but often incremental and easy to overlook until it's unmistakable. Her journey serves as a powerful reminder that true confidence isn't found in erasing lines or altering features, but in embracing the face that reflects your story. Cher has never built her legacy on pretending to be untouched by time, and that unapologetic honesty is exactly what makes her stand out in Hollywood. Long before cosmetic procedures became openly discussed, Cher spoke with blunt transparency about the work she chose to have done, refusing to hide behind excuses or shame. Yet even with her confidence and independence, she has admitted that not every decision brought the results she expected. Among her many cosmetic experiences, Cher has been especially candid about one that went badly wrong: her breast augmentation. She has described it as a complete disaster, poorly executed, and far from the empowering transformation she imagined. What makes her story so compelling is not simply the mistake, but the way she responded to it. Cher never tried to rewrite history or pretend the outcome was a success. Instead, she met it with humor, self-awareness, and an unwavering sense of autonomy. Her message has always been clear: it was her body, her choice, and ultimately her responsibility. Rather than allowing regret to define her, she absorbed the misstep into a larger narrative of resilience and self-ownership. Even today, as she continues to perform, create, and remain culturally relevant, Cher represents a rare kind of freedom in an industry obsessed with perfection. Her journey reminds us that cosmetic surgery can involve missteps, but no one else gets to dictate how you live with them. In the end, Cher's greatest transformation has never been about altering her appearance, but about refusing to surrender control of her story to anyone else. Gwyneth Paltrow has long been associated with balance, wellness, and a lifestyle built around restraint rather than excess. Her public image has emphasized clean living, mindfulness, and the idea that confidence comes from knowing yourself, not chasing perfection. That is why her honesty about experimenting with cosmetic treatments has resonated with so many. For Gwyneth, these choices were never about dramatic transformation, but about subtle maintenance, small adjustments meant to preserve rather than redefine. Yet not every experiment delivered the gentle results she expected. One experience in particular became a clear turning point: Botox. Gwyneth later admitted that it simply didn't work for her. Instead of looking refreshed, her face felt stiff and unfamiliar, as if her natural expressions had been muted. For an actress whose career depends on emotional nuance and authenticity, that loss was deeply unsettling. The procedure didn't enhance her confidence, it interrupted her connection to her own reflection. What makes her story powerful is not scandal or regret, but clarity. She didn't spiral into self-criticism or chase another fix. She simply stopped. Botox, she decided, crossed a personal boundary and was no longer an option. In recent years, she has continued to speak openly about the importance of self-acceptance and moderation, reinforcing the idea that having access to endless cosmetic possibilities doesn't mean you must pursue them. Her journey raises a quiet but important question. When every option is available, is true confidence found in continuing to experiment or in knowing exactly when to say no? Behind every headline about beauty and transformation is a human story of pressure, expectation, mistakes, and sometimes redemption. These celebrities remind us that fame does not shield anyone from insecurity, and that the pursuit of perfection can come at a very real cost. Yet their journeys also show courage, the courage to admit regret, to change course, and to reclaim authenticity. In the end, true confidence rarely comes from altering who we are, but from learning to accept it. If these stories resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share this video, and subscribe to the channel for more thoughtful stories behind the spotlight.